Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Moodtrix. So here's what I'd like to get down for this video. We all know about the almighty freshman year video, but let's go down to what happened this year. So if you don't know, if you haven't been keeping up with my channel, I'm in this thing called flight school. And flight school is a mimic, an imitation of my years in high school, which is why I reference so much about my freshman year in high school. My freshman year is when I was the most popular. Now back then, at 2018, was also when I was the most popular. So it's a parallel to my years in high school. And this year is the parallel of, I wouldn't say parallel, but the imitation of sophomore year in flight school. So, like I said earlier, this year is Sasuke Aizen based. And Sasuke Aizen is street knowledge. If you keep up with my A and B series on YouTube, how Raven Justice is Raven from Teen Titans, how Yugi Moto is Pharaoh. Yes, Aizen is street knowledge. Now, one thing we gotta get out the way is this sophomore year was really, really dark. Let me say, when I was a sophomore in high school, I took classes to help in my career. Like how everybody knows I work on nuns, I took art classes back in high school, and it was beneficial. I learned how to draw a little bit more. I learned how to do 3D backgrounds, but I wasn't consistent at it. So, as a part of that, what makes this sophomore year different is I actually wasn't taking classes that was supporting me, but I was doing little things that was supporting my hobbies. This year, what was crazy about my sophomore year in high school was I got caught stealing at a supermarket called Lucky's. Now, I don't know if they have Lucky's everywhere, but they definitely have Lucky's in California. Now, Lucky's I got caught stealing at, and what was crazy about this year is I actually ended up working at Lucky's. So yeah, this is kind of like why we call it sophomore year, freshman year. You know where I'm going now, okay? Exactly. So what happened was this is a very bumpy year. Now, the thing that's the same about my freshman year and sophomore year to this flight school, fresh and sophie, was the whole thing about, it was hella fun, because freshman year was really, really freaking fun in flight school because of how I got this job that was literally my dream job, and I had so much fun and shit. But this year, all my jobs were complete and total shit, and they felt like shit, you know? What happened was I was working at a Chuck E. Cheese like job, and I was working with a bunch of thoughts, and I was having the time of my life. So what happened was really, it was cool and shit like that, and I still ended up a good note at the job. But the problem was, this year going into it, it was way less. And I remember I was having a conversation with Arturo that, freshman year is over, sophomore year is fucking, everything's more strict, and it was more strict. Exactly, it was more strict this year. That's another thing that was similar. So this is a recap, but I just wanted to get the similarities out the way before I really go out the tangent. This sophomore year taught me that I was gonna have to slow down a little bit, because what happened my freshman year was, my freshman year I got in trouble smoking. My sophomore year in high school, I got in trouble smoking on campus. I got 2 marijuana tickets my sophomore year, and I got caught stealing at Lucky's. I was doing a lot of bad shit that year. And this year I was on the same path, unfortunately. So yeah, I got into some shit this year, and so that's another similarity. But another thing I wanted to get out there is, there was also a period in my sophomore year that in high school, not flight school, where I was in a state where I couldn't do much. What happened was I got in trouble for weed, so I couldn't smoke anymore, so I had to go back, I had to try some new hobby, so I got into wrestling, and it kept me from doing drugs and shit like that. And I also got caught up in bleach, so I was multi-dimensional and shit like that my sophomore year. because I had to be, because I had to keep myself preoccupied because I couldn't smoke. And that was just when I was a kid. But now that I'm an adult, what was funny is I actually, since I have a job now, I provided for my own hobbies. I became multi-dimensional, but I was providing it, and I wasn't relying on our school system to keep me in check. And I was actually keeping up with a schedule somewhat, and then I threw it out the window. But that's a story for another video. This sophomore year, I really got into bettering myself as a person and really just changing who I am and changing how I react to things. The difference between high school me and high school me is high school sophomore Riz and this sophomore Moodtrix. What happened is, my attitude was completely different. I was a sophomore in high school. I'm like, oh, this fucking sucks. I can't do this and that. When this sophomore in high school, I was like, okay, I might not be able to do this, but I can definitely do this. I can definitely do that. And I gave myself more options. So this is just a little character development I had from high school. And now we got that out the way, we must recap sophomore year. Sasuke Aizen, let's go, baby. Okay, so this sophomore year started off fucking crazy. Now, the difference between flight school and high school. So anyway, what happened was this. We don't start at September like a normal school. Flight school, we start at the beginning, because you know why? We don't have no summers in flight school. We start from beginning to end, and that's how it ended. So let's recap. So flight school started off with me kind of being in denial, me not living to who I used to be. Flight school started off as me not having fun at my jobs. The quality of my jobs was fucking shitty. The pay for my jobs was even shittier too. I had to work harder for a less reward, and I didn't have as easy access to shit as I did freshman year. So it was really tough, and it was really fucking it was hard for me to compass. It was hard for me to deal with my struggles because I didn't have enough things influencing me. Back in my freshman year, back in my freshman year in flight school, I was more motivated to keep up my A and B series on Twizzler. But ever since I became a sophomore, I just I got burnt out because I lost motivation. These jobs were draining me. I felt like hella toxic between all these square bears, and it's just like I gave up on a lot of shit. And what happened was this, I had to learn the concept of growing up this year more than ever, because I realized where I was at, and I realized that, I still ain't doing shit. I had a chance to do shit last year, but I fucked it up and I had to pay the price for it this year. But on the contrary, this year was all about learning. It was teaching me that last year's success, I was gaining success way too fast. This year really slowed me down and humbled me as a person. So let's talk about what am I famous for. Okay, so I'm famous for A and B's, obviously, but I'm also famous for commentary videos. So I'm also famous for going to cons and having a lot of character interactions with the cosplayers. So so this year was definitely a boost, and I thought it wasn't gonna be as good as freshman year, but it turned out to be way better than I expected. So here's what was going on. So I started to lay back and I started to watch anime a little bit more, and I was kind of coping with my mechanism of my past life, where I was like, yo, what happened? You used to be this and that. But then little did I realize that it wasn't supposed to be like that the entire time. And I realized that, I was in the wrong place. It was time for me to grow up. And what happened was this, that last job I had, before I had all these main jobs, lasted so long only because I realized one thing: I was in my comfort zone. This year made me self-realization. I'm serious. They had salmon rolls there. They had pizza there. Yeah, everything under the sun I can do, and it fit perfectly because nowadays I didn't have that luxury, and I had to work harder to be fed at the job, and I had to work harder to keep food on the plate for my house. It was really, really tough, man. And so this year, I started marathoning anime after anime after anime after anime, and it's like I started to do a lot of comparisons, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a very, very lonely year for me. And the reason why I have to say it's parallel to my sophomore year. My sophomore year, even though I was wrestling, I was coming home and I was marathoning Bleach, and that's why I named it after Sasuke Aizen, because of how Sasuke Aizen saved my life sophomore year. What happened was I was lying to myself when I was watching Bleach, because I'm like, man, this is so fucking gay. Why do I have to wrestle? Why do I have to do this and that? Why can't I just get high like how I used to and shit like that? But I realize now that because I used to think like that was what was keeping me back the whole time. And to continue on with sophomore year, what was lonely is I started to see a lot of animes that I loved and I got really into, but it wasn't distracting me from my reality that I was in. You see, freshman year, when I was in high school, not fight school, is when the Pain arc was released, and that's when anime was undoubtedly in its prime, and not everybody was on it, but the few people who are on it, like me and Arturo, like, man, did you see that fight? That shit was hella crazy. We weren't having that shit sophomore year. Do you understand that? And what happened was this, man. This sophomore year, I got into the Promised Neverland, which was really fucking stimulating for me, but that was the one thing. You see how they all look like little kids, and I was watching it? You don't think that I felt like a little kid when I was watching it? No! Exactly, this shit hit home to my heart. At that time I got reincarnated as a slime, I started watching that, and I didn't get the concept of it because it was going over my head, because I was expecting something a little bit more. I'm like, man, it kind of looks like the rest of the anime. I'm like, hold up, this guy, he became a boss. And after I kept watching it, he became my second favorite protagonist because I was being biased. The Rising of the Shield Hero 2, when I was looking at that, I'm like, hold up, I didn't get caught with this. It's kind of boring because I watch Big Tail videos, and this is definitely what I see at Big Tail, so I'll like Rising of the Shield Hero because this started off for a Me Too thing and it drove me the fuck off. So yeah, like, I have my reasons, but now that I think about it, that one was the closest one to real life out of all of them. You understand how that fucking made sense, that I needed to think about myself in life, and when I was looking at these animes, I'm like, man, yeah, these are cool and stuff like that, but I'm still in denial because I still don't have feats. But that ended as soon as I got to Level Up Expo. Oh yeah! Now this is where it gets juicy. Okay, so what the big thing about freshman year from sophomore year when I was in high school is, one of the main things that I had to learn from when I was a freshman, when high school, not fight school, was some of the things you can get away with freshman year, you can't get away with it sophomore year. And that was the main parallel to this year and that year. And what I mean by that is, when I was a freshman, I can get away with stealing, and sophomore year is exactly when I got caught stealing at Lucky's. So yeah, we definitely know where this is going. But you know what's even stronger? Something that I really learned my lesson from was when I went to jail one time, and the one thing that I couldn't get away with, the same as stealing, is that motherfucking slogan, go in. And I stopped doing that. I really stopped doing that because I realized, yo, this shit had potential, but this has to be more professional. And I was really fucking out of pocket when I'm thinking about the shit. I took the L, but let's be real with people. We all know the backstory behind this shit and why it stopped and why I did so good. So continue on. That's exactly the parallel between sophomore year fight school right now. So let's put it like this. And so January popped off, and that's how sophomore year began, and that's where all the heavy hitters like Promised Neverland and fucking Mob Psycho 100 season 2, and that's exactly, Mob Psycho season 2 is definitely how I knew I had character development as a person. When I saw Shigeo teach me that life lesson, that without his superpowers he was nothing. Let's say that my superpower is popularity. What happened this year is I was getting by just off my popularity alone, not my actual skills as a person. I was getting jobs based off my looks, but I wasn't getting jobs based off my skills. So yeah, that's exactly the parallel to shit. Now let's go back into the things that I realized that I couldn't do anymore. So I went in on this lady at the donut shop, but she was teasing me. Now we're all like, oh, hold up, you can't say that, but hold up. That's exactly why they let me go within the same week, because what happened was this: those girls set me up so I can go to jail. So I went to jail for like a week, and they realized that it was a setup, and then they realized that there was going to be an even bigger setup at Fanime 2019. So to clear things up, that's why I haven't uploaded it, because I wanted to clear things out. That's why I uploaded the Crunchyroll, because they gave me another chance, because I learned from my mistakes. You see, the reason why they did that was because they were investigating me ever since Level Up Expo. They were wondering, oh, okay, so these girls are following him and shit like that. So whenever they said that eyes of street knowledge, I won when it came to street knowledge. I died in the beginning, but here's what happens a little bit deeper than that. They asked me which cons did I go to so they can try to set me up. So what happened is the people knew I was already going to be set up this year, because what happened was this: when I did what I did at Level Up Expo, I basically told them that I was multi-talented and I didn't have to rely on that stupid go win phrase no more. So what happened was this: when I went to Fanime 2019, after I did the crazy shit Level Up Expo, do you want to leave out of it? Of course you want to leave out of it, because that shit was lit. Okay, so I went to Yu-Gi-Moto. I trained for the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament sophomore year. I put in the work to do what I did sophomore year, and I went crazy at the dance when I cosplayed as Def the Kid. And especially the first day when I was lost. So what I'm trying to say is the Level Up Expo was definitely a great bonus to my arc. It taught me, yo, this is what I should be. This is what a con should be. It shouldn't be a hood style tip brought to the con, because it is a con. And I met some good people there, and I learned a lot about people from California and not just Las Vegas, that not everyone acts differently, not everyone holds you up to the same standards wherever you go in life. And that really made me feel better, because I talked to this one Asian lady, and she's all like, oh, cosplay, it doesn't matter on the race. I got to see people who cosplay as Tintin, Black Hinata, Black Rock Lee with dreads. That was crazy. If you know what I'm saying, I didn't think I'd ever get, because you don't get that in California. In California, it's like, you're black, you can't cosplay any characters from that anime unless they're black too. And they shut that shit out the water, and that taught me a lot about life. That you don't gotta be perfect, that you don't gotta be this and that, and you are great just the way you are. So anyway, I tried to bring that mentality to Fanime, and I got shit on. They're all like, do it, go in. And they knew it was a setup the whole time. That's why when they said that prayer and shit, I was like, okay, fuck you. That's why they let me in the next day, and the next day, and the next day, like Mr. Krabs and shit. So anyway, so this is the fucking root cord, and I knew what I did was out of pocket, but the only reason why this shit was undetrimental was because of how I reacted to it in the first place. It was really the fact that I didn't want to do it in the first place, so they gave me another chance, and that's why I went hard at Crunchyroll Expo. I don't want to have to go into details of Fanime 2019, because we know what was crazy, but little do you know, I'm going to upload that pretty soon. I just want to clear things up on my fan base that we cannot do that anymore, people. We have to be civilized adults. I agree to an extent. That shit was hot, okay? But it has to be consensual. That's exactly why I went to Level Up, and I learned from P. Diddy. If you want to do that shit, you gotta be more professional, and that is exactly why they let me go, people. They knew I was a celebrity, but that's no excuse to do what I did. So, in actuality, I learned from my mistake once. They harassed me, gang stalked me to make me make the same mistake twice, and I couldn't take it. So, without a doubt, I came back from that shit. And that is why I won, because I did it for a reason. I did it to protect my family. They told me I was going to make money if I did that shit. And they all knew it was a scam, so they let me go. And so I appreciate that, and I will be returning. So this is really a blessing. And not just that, this sophomore year really taught me a lot. I learned a lot more from this year than I ever in my life. And you know what I really enjoyed about this is the journey and just me realizing who the fuck I am and realizing what my surroundings are, and just everything I learned from this arc was just so overlapping. It's so like it awakened my inner self. Like, yo, this is me. This isn't me, and that's what I learned from sophomore year. And shout out to Sasuke Aizen, because he really made me feel like there's still hope in the world. Like Bleach, when I was watching that shit, I'm like, man, this boy Aizen is a beast. I can't stop saying how much I love Aizen because he saved my life sophomore year, because everything else is pretty boring because Naruto was doing that stupid ass filler arc, and where everybody was going ahead of the manga and Naruto was getting spoiled for me, so I was just watching Bleach, and so like it kept me intertwined. And it's like, it taught me maybe it's not smoking that was my problem, because I used to always watch anime high. Maybe it's just me as a person, and I'm not happy for a reason. Now they're saying, oh, how could you not be happy? You're playing sports. I don't like the sports I'm playing. I was bullshitting myself happiness. I was doing it because I had nothing else better to do. So I gave myself revenue sophomore year. I gave myself multiple options sophomore year. So yes. So that's just a recap of sophomore year. This is your boy Moodtrix. Catch my next video and you're gonna love it. I'll see you later, man. Now let's say amen.